Good afternoon. Hi, Shabazz Khan here to present my seminar report, which I have done during my summer time. So, basically, this is the real-time project which I taken up during my work profession. So, I take this as a time optimization project in terms of the management and the automation, which I have done during this summer internship. So to give you brief about my background, so I work in a company named as MapMy India. MapMy India gave us the supports for the hardwares, telematics, and other IoT devices in the automotive domain for the OEMs as well as the other markets. So during this session, so we have some OEMs partner where we are using to deliver some IoT devices. So where we called as the TCU, which is telematics controlling unit, which is having the embedded SIM in it. So during this time, so we come up, so we are doing this thing from last many years, and we have some problem statement as well. So I just give you brief. So while we are these, as I mentioned, these TCU devices come up with the embedded SIMs, and we have to provide a connectivity. And these devices are going to be validated and checked while the manufacturing. But as the SIM has the validity, so it's a cost to everyone. So we are working in the JIT, just in time inventory, where device manufacturers here in Delhi and transported it to one of our OEMs, and before reaching to them, the device must be active. So there must be no delay in the terms of productions. So this is how it works. So existingly, the whole process is work in the Kanban method or semi-automated process where we have to rely on the manual coordinations. So once the device is manufactured, there is a order placement is happened when the and before the order displacement dispatch. So we have to activate the SIMs because it has a turnaround time of 48 hours for the SIM activation process in the IoT's domain. Although it takes not that long time, but this much time is required from the service provider. And there is a transit time as well. So by the time it reaches to the production line OEM, so the location of the plant is located in the Gujarat. So by the time of fitment and the installations, device must be active. Either if we are because these devices come up with the 3 months of internet package, so there are rest time also in their OEM's inventory. So to avoid any kind of charges, extra penalties, because if the devices get expired, then the next recharge is of for 1 year, and it's a cost to everyone. So there is a to ensure this, there is a full kind of semi-automated process was designed. Before the device dispatch, the SIM needs to be activated. So by the time of vehicle manufacturing, SIM will be available for the communication. Because if the SIM is not activated or its plan is got expired, then the line will got to stop because vehicle is unable to clear, because there is a check where the TCU communicates with the OEM's cloud and validated the data. So what we have done to execute this, the automated process. So we integrated API integration environment where we got how this process work once the order is placed and device is about to dispatch. So instead of giving the manual request of SIMs, so we send a bunch of API, we send a device or serial numbers IMEI to the service providers based on that the ICC ID, which is the unique number for the SIM that gets activated. Earlier, this process takes 48 hours because it's a manual entry. Each and every number needs to be checked. So in general, so there are in a batch or the daily consumption of these kind of devices is around 100 to 200 units a day. So this will introduce a time. So if I consider the whole activation cycle will take 3 to 4 hours. Now to integrate it without with full automated API process like which is used to activate the SIMs, validate the recharges and give us the confirmation. So the time was reduced from 3 to 4 days to just 3 to 4 hours. So this also not help us to eliminating or reducing the time, but it's also help us in an elimination of the errors because the as ICC ID are the 15 digit number. If any wrong ICC ID enters, so it's a cost. So basically we accidentally input an alternative number, so which obviously cause a problem while the vehicle is manufacturing. Now, the last point is the strong partnership. This helps us to ensure the just-in-time inventory deliveries, which ensures the OEM trust, which is that everyone asks. So, problem statement was an industrial context, and this is something process improvement over the existing process. So as I mentioned. So the key challenges in the TCU activation, basically first thing is the time duration, what is needed, manual data entry, because 200 devices, if the length of the data or the each serial number is 15 digit, then there is a very high probability that the wrong SIM or mismatched SIM got activated. So we need to make a very tight and sure, okay, the data what is pushed to the service provider is error free, no mismatch, to avoid any unwanted SIM activation or skip any kind of activation. Because in any of the case, if the TCU reached to the OEMs and fitted into the lines and the vehicle got stuck due to non-SIM activation reason, then it was penalized by 10 times the cost of the device. So it's a big cost to both of us, like OEM as well as the Mappa India. So not only this, this also becomes a showstopper or the bottleneck of the operational challenges. So while sending the devices, if OEMs need an urgent supply, then it's a bottleneck for everyone. So because there is a process time from 3 to 4 days, so that plan a shipment needs to be planned at least a week prior. If they missed, then there is a very high probability that the things got mismatch and the times is not aligned with respect to that. And the final financial petitions, which I also discussed, like we have to pay a 10 times of the cost of the device as the process stopper. So the proposals, how we started the integrations. So we started with the when the order is placed from the OEMs. So assuming OEM place an order of 100 units. So based on that, LIFO based inventory, the SIM and the devices automatically sorted out. Then based on that 100 devices, the list of ICC ID directly pushed in the batches of 30 ICC ID in each time. So in 4 hits, just we just send a request for the same activation. So every hit takes around a minute. So it's will be concluded in a 4 to 5 minutes. Generally, it takes for the 100 units. So after 4 to 5 minutes, then it will be come back and we will it's a turnaround time of 15 minutes for the same activation process. And after 15-minute process there is another API which runs to check the validation and get the confirmation that all sims get activated and no error. So now we will send another request to check the status of the sims. So all 100 units or ICC IDs has been pushed to the cloud and we will get the response from the service provider and we will get the confirmation. So ensuring all SIMs gets activated and there is no error in the data which is fetched from the ERP and which is updated. Based on this confirmation, then the billing will be proceed. because until or unless any of the device gets confirmation or the SIM activation process, then the billing will not be happen. So this is the poke yoke, or which is a checkpoint milestone before the billing being proceed. Once the billing was done, then the devices or the units will be handed over to logistics team for the outer deliveries or outbound logistics. So anticipates benefit of this automation. First is time efficiency, error reduction. There is a reliability on the data. Then this is the scalable method. Earlier we have to stick with around 100 to 200 deliveries a day, and now we will scale up to 10 times. Now we can send up to 1,000 devices. So activation will not become a showstopper. And full traceability from the start to till end, there is a full complex or full transparent traceability will be there. So this is what we have the outcome. So this reduced the time, as I mentioned, from 3 to 4 days to just 3 to 4 hours, and it reduces up to 90% of time. And the errors was reduced, which will become match to reduce to directly to zero. So this give us the quantitative outcome as well, customer satisfaction, employee efficiency. So earlier, at least three manpowers will be engaged for this process. Now it's just a single manpower who is handling or just watching or reviewing all the process are doing in the perfect manner or not. Otherwise, it's a whole automated process. No manpower explicitly needed for this stuff. Partnership is strengthening. So during this problem statement resolution, so we there are the three stakeholders. One is Mappa India, second is internet service provider, and third is the OEMs. So it's a tri-party agreement, and this strengthening the three of us with the joint collaboration and the speed up work. So this gives us the sustainable performance and the future enhancement. So this can be done so to eliminate the wasting time and the alignment with the OEM's demands, continuous monitoring like plan to check act cycles to be ensure is going on. So with this, we the future enhancement can be in what we can do is to introduce the AI, which is used to predict the future forecast. So basically, the demand and the forecast in the OEM's environment are quite defined in very early stages. But then also there is a where fluctuations can be happen. Like recently on today we are on 22nd, so there is a change in the GSTs, so demand gets spiked during the last month. And same we have observed in the time of the wars and the when there is a Trump introduces the international traffics. So by that time, so the fluctuations will be happen, so there are some seasonality as well. Other than this, there is a scope of blockchain for the security and the IoT algorithms, analytics for the integrations. So strategies recommended, and now it's time to conclude. Expanding the API environment to make things infrastructure more robust, scalable infrastructure, because now we can handle large number of volumes, which is earlier being stopped by the some manpower processing processes. Now we are working in collaboration with the OEMs, which give us a good great point where they can have a traceability. Security compliances will be there and the continuous training staff to ensure and evolve with the digital processes which we have done. Automotive activation has been transforming the bottlenecks into the competitive advantage to the MapMy India, setting up the benchmark for the digital first operations in connected mobility. So with this, I would like to thank you and I want to conclude. Yeah, thank you.